G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another tipping video. You saw over the last maybe 5 weeks, I had 3 guests on the channel in regards to tipping videos, and I thought I'd invite this man on, and he was not afraid to say yes. So very excited to have Sam Revill on the channel. He's fairly new to YouTube. He is a Cowboys supporter, and obviously the Cowboys, they've had an up and down season, haven't they, Sam?
Certainly a roller coaster season so far. Thank you so much for having me on your tipping episode this weekend. I'm humbled and I'm very, very lucky. It's awesome. Let's get stuck into it, man.
Let's get straight into it, man. We obviously coming off Magic Round, which is controversial in some sense for the new rules, and we're probably going to see quite a few sim bins. So, look, if you want to chuck in a sim bin tip as well, you're welcome to do that. I started doing them at the start of my vlogs. I probably won't come up with them, but feel free to speak up in that sense. But let's get into the first game. The first game we see the North Queensland Cowboys, your team, up against the Newcastle Knights. Now, the Knights, they went down to the West Tigers. I tipped that one. Not many people did, so really happy to claim the bragging rights on that one. I tipped them even before Ponga was out, guys. I said this Knights team for me, their attack hasn't been great. The Cowboys were pretty good for the most part against the Roosters. I'm just trying to check if there's any outs. I know that Cohen Hess is out for the Cowboys, and Heimel Hunt is also back out for the Newcastle Knights. Blake Green is in jersey number 21, so he's a chance for the Knights to come into the halves. But the Cowboys at home over since the new stadium's opened, they haven't been great. They haven't been great at home, but the last 2 games they've won, which was against Brisbane and I think maybe the Dragons was the other one. And in this game, I think they'll win. I think they'll be too good for the Knights. I think that the Knights defensively will be a lot better than they were against the West Tigers. I wanted to back Kyle Felt for a try, but I'm going to go to the other wing, and I'm going to go with Murray Taulagi, and I'm going to tip the Cowboys here by 10, 20 points to 10. What's your tip, Sam?
Cowboys by 13 plus house for
Oh,
sure. I think Kyle Felt actually, he was going to be my anytime try scorer, to be honest. I think he can leap over the top of his opposing winger. I think it's Toa. I think it is. You might have to correct me on that. The Cowboys have won 3 on the trot at home. Actually, they've beaten the Raiders, the Doggies, and Brisbane. So yeah, that's cool that we can say that. And a final score, I think it'll be something like 26-10. I think that's what will happen. I do fear that if they don't show up, the Cowboys, I think Newcastle's forward pack, if they do come up to QCB Stadium switched on, I think they can meet them and even beat them. But I don't think that's going to happen. And here's a stat that goes against Newcastle House. Newcastle, since 2010, have travelled to the state of Queensland on 25 occasions, and they've only come away with a victory on 7 occasions since 2010. I don't think that's going to change, or they're just going to notch up another loss to their name when they play in Queensland. So the Queensland hoodoo will continue for Newcastle, and I think North Queensland will beat them 26-10 with Kyle Felt as an anytime try scorer.
well, last year in 2020, I remember one of my biggest upsets for the year. I tipped the Cowboys against the Knights just based on that record of the Knights travelling up to Queensland. And everyone called me crazy, and the Cowboys were paying $4. And I got the last laugh in that one. And I don't think there'll be an upset this time, guys. I think the Cowboys at home will be too good. They're starting to get better and better at home. Moving on to the next game. If I could, I'd like to attend this game, but on Friday, I'll be a little bit busy. It will be before I change location for work. It will be my final day at my previous workplace. So, big day for me on Friday. I'd like to get down if I can. I ended up going to the Manly Seagulls versus New Zealand Warriors, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But you've got the New Zealand Warriors up against the West Tigers. Now, the Warriors in the second half, they were pretty good against Parramatta for the most part. They've got a lot coming off their bench as well with Reece Walsh and things like that. As for the Tigers, they were quite good against Newcastle for a close to 80 minutes. It was the closest to an 80-minute performance I've seen from the Tigers. I've seen a lot of people tip the Tigers here, but The Warriors' record at Central Coast Stadium has just been outstanding, and for that reason, I'm going to go with the Warriors here. I think they'll win this game by 8. I think it'll be high scoring. I think it'll be a good game. Warriors 28, Tigers 20. Anytime try score. I'm going to go with the lock forward of Tohu Harris.
Alrighty. I'm going to be tipping the Warriors 1-12. It'll be high scoring. My anytime try scorer plays his 150th game this weekend in David Norfoluma. Plays his 150th. So I'll pick him to score a try. The West Tigers haven't played at Central Coast Stadium since 2012. So if you're Tigers fans, you should get out amongst it. So it's been quite a while since they've played in Gosford. And I think, the final scoreline could resemble something of 32-24. I think it'll be high scoring, but I think with 5 minutes to go, I think the Warriors will just do enough. Warriors by 1-12.
Oh, that's funny that you say it, because I think that Manly Seagulls take on the Tigers later in the season at Central Coast Stadium. So after so long not being there, they're there twice. Because I think that's a game I might try and get to, the Tigers and the Seagulls later. But look, I'd like to get there. If I'm definitely going to get to the Warriors' last game before they head to New Zealand, if things go in favour of the Warriors. But they're playing quite good. There's more to play for, in my opinion, for the Warriors in this one. The next game is a very interesting game. You've got the Cronulla Sharks up against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. The Dragons pretty much with a new look team. The Dragons were favourites going into this game last night, but as soon as the team list came out, the odds shifted in Cronulla's favour. The halves for Cronulla remain in Moylan and Townsend. And Moylan, I've got to give him credit. He's playing some quite good footy. As for the Sharks, besides that, there's not many changes. Sean Johnson's a chance in jersey number 18, so we'll have to wait and see whether he's a late inclusion to the side, but I feel like he won't. For the Dragons, though, their new look team means that Josh Maguire, Matt Duffy, Ravalawa, Sims, and Fuimianu all out, and all out for an extended period of time as well. So if the Dragons are to win this game, they're going to really have to step up. I was going to go with the Sharks, but I'm going to go with the Dragons here, guys. I think the Dragons remain in the top 8 for another week. I don't think they'll be in the 8 come the end of finals. I think the upset of the week will be St. George. They're also playing at Cogra. They love playing in front of Cogra. I think there'll be a big Dragons crowd there, turning up quite a few fans. Gerard Beale has been named in jersey number 21. He could be a late inclusion because for mine, Billy Burns is not a centre. He's a back rower, and I've seen this at Penrith, and I've seen this for a while now. So taking the Dragons for an upset, I think their bench will step up. I'm taking Cade Ellis as my anytime try scorer, and the Dragons to win 24 points to 18.
The Great Southern Derby this Friday night, mate. Tipping the Dragons, you are going to be swimming in money if you pull that off. How's fair, dinkum? I have to back against you, mate. I'm going to tip the Cronulla Sharks to win 1-12. I don't think they can run away with it. They are so shot for confidence, Cronulla Sharks. And I think their performances have been better than where they are placed on the ladder. I think they've been desperately unlucky this season, ever since John Morris got the chop. Anytime try scorer, I think the Cronulla Sharks forward pack, if they aim up against a depleted Dragons outfit, I can see someone of Nakore. Is it Nakore or Nakore for the Sharks?
Nakora, Britton Nakora.
Nakora, I'm going to go him for an anytime try scorer with a final scoreline of 24-16. 24. I think Dragons will score some points because Sharks, whilst their ladder position, in my opinion, doesn't resemble how hard they fought this season, they have league points, haven't they, this year? I think Sharks will win 1-12, 24-16 with Nakora scoring an anytime try.
All right, we've gone against each other for that one. Let's get into the next game. We move on to Super Saturday at 3 o'clock. We've got the Gold Coast Titans facing the Canterbury Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have won one game all season. They haven't looked great. They came very close to, they led Canberra at one point. I think that if you would have had team leading after 60 minutes, then good bet there would have been the Bulldogs. But the Raiders, too good in the end, 20 points to 18. Didn't mind what I saw from the Bulldog. Aaron Schwab has come into the side in the centres. I believe there is another player. I'm just trying to find his name. It could be Aaron Swap making his NRL debut. There is a debutant for the Dogs, and we always see good performances from debutants, so looking forward to seeing that. As for the Titans, they were not great against Penrith, but they were in the second half. In my opinion, they put in a fight. I think that this will be AJ Brimson's shot at an Origin jersey. I'm taking him for 2 tries, and I think the Titans will win 30-12.
Ash Taylor, just reading up 15, 20 odd minutes ago, is firming as a chance to come back into the Gold Coast side. In any event, I'll be tipping the Gold Coast to win by 13 plus, even though David Fafita is still out for just one more week. I completely agree with you. AJ Brimson, I think this is his shot, 100%. The Doggies, they were in it to win it, weren't they, for quite a while, but I think, and this is as respectful as I guess I can put it, but gee whiz, they played dumb. The Doggies played so dumb last week, didn't they? I'm going to tip the Gold Coast Titans to win. Not blow them out of the water per se, but I think Titans can win to the tune of 32 points to 10. And I'm with you too on AJ Brimson. I think he'll score a try as well for sure.
I like it. That back line to open up AJ Brimson 2 times against the Doggies. You watch it happen, guys, but we've both gone the same there. The next game, Saturday games aren't great, in my opinion. Let's get through them pretty quickly before some decent games on Sunday. You got the Sydney Roosters up against the Broncos. They've been under strength for a while, the Sydney Roosters, but they're still finding a way to win games. Suwali has not made his debut yet. He's named in jersey number 21 and will probably be 18th man come into the side. As for the Broncos, a different halves combination once again. I don't know, is it the 14th in 2 years, something like that. Albert Kelly makes his Broncos debut in jersey number 6 with Tyson Gamble in the 7. Corey Oates is out and Jordan Ricky's out for, in my opinion, a really shitty call, but I don't see the Broncos competing at this game. I think if it was in Brisbane, they might put in a bigger fight, but they have been absolutely terrible on the road. The Roosters know how to win. When I went to the Anzac Day match as well, they were really hyping up this game as the farewell for Jake Friend, and I think that should put in a lot for the Roosters. Last time the Roosters played, I think they won 59-0, which is just amazing from Sydney Roosters. And that was without James Tedesco, might I add. I'm taking James Tedesco as my anytime try scorer, going with another fullback, the Origin fullbacks potentially. I think the Roosters will win 36-12. Not too bad. I think Brisbane's defence will be a little bit better than last week.
If Jake Friend's finals farewell is this Saturday night, House, well then Roosters are specials then, aren't they? I think, what is his name? Jason Hetherington. His son makes his debut at hooker whilst coming off the bench for the Brisbane Broncos this weekend. So there's another debutant. But it's been a graveyard, the SCG for the Brisbane Broncos over past seasons, hasn't it? And the Sydney Roosters will do a 13-plus job on them. It won't be another 59-0, even though I'd love it if it was. I think it will be something to the tune of 34 points to, it's pretty similar to you actually, man. 34 to 12. Anytime try scorer. I love the form of Daniel Tupou at the moment. I think over the past 18 months, he has taken advantage of his size and he's running at brick walls without any mercy. I really like how Tupou's playing his footy at the moment, and I think he'll score a try against the Brisbane Broncos.
Do you reckon he'll score first? I took him as first try scorer last week. It was the first one I got in 3 weeks. So what do you reckon?
Well, yeah, I've gone him anytime. He's the first person that's come to mind. And, yeah, I'm going to take Daniel Tupou as first try scorer as well.
I like it. You'll probably get around $7 for that one. I got $8.50 last week at the Magic Round. So let's get into the final game on Saturday night. You've got a game that I was really looking forward to originally, but now I think this is going to be a blowout. You've got the Canberra Raiders up against the Melbourne Storm. The Raiders are without their big guns, Josh Papali, Josh Hodgson, and Jack Whiten all out. Brad Snyder will make his NRL debut by the bench. Ryan James on the bench. He's been in some quite good form. As for the Storm, no Ryan Pappenhausen, no Tyson Smoothie, and their backup 5'8" in Riley Jacks is gone. And I think Chris Lewis is quite a solid player, so he's gone into the six. I'm going to take Chris Lewis as my anytime try scorer. Just because of the margin that I've picked, I'm going to take another anytime try scorer in Remus Smith. If the Raiders are to score, which I think they will, but it's going to be tricky for them, I'll take Curtis Scott and maybe Ryan James off the bench has been big for them. But I think it'll be a high-scoring game. Melbourne to win 40-14.
You got bloody Raiders losing 4 on the trot at home, mate.
I
And
have,
so
mate.
do I. So do I, man. 40-14, fair dinkum. The Raiders, I've still got a red felt pen hovering over above their names. Not crossing them out just yet. They are empty. They obviously are another team that are lacking confidence. And the Melbourne Storm, whilst they're not at 100% strength as well, and the goal kicking is something that's left to be desired as well, they'll get the job done because you've got Justin Olam in your team. If I were to walk into a dressing shed and I saw Justin Olam putting on his jersey for me, as part of the team, I'd feel so much better about myself. He's having an outstanding season again. He was awesome last year, and he's going to score a try this weekend as well, against a backline that is inexperienced. And I think Adokar and Olam will take advantage of that fact as well. So I've got Melbourne Storm winning. How can you not say that they're not going to put 40 points on them? Because I think it's 4 weeks or 5 weeks in a row that Melbourne Storm have scored 40 points or more in a game. They're just an attacking machine, man. I don't mean to rip you off sort of thing or rip off you, but I think 40 to... Actually, I'll go 38 to... I'll go, 38 to 8. I'll go 38 to 8. Yep, and Justin Olam as a try scorer as well.
Not bad.
Unfortunately, Raiders fans, I think this is going to be another loss, but their season's not over yet, the Canberra Raiders. Once they get their players back in, including Charles Nickel-Klokstad and Jared Croker. And Jared Croker has been ruled out indefinitely, not because of a shoulder injury, but because of a fresh knee injury. He is such a gentleman. I've had the pleasure of meeting him once before, and all the best to him, man. He is the Canberra Raiders' heart and soul, and hopefully he gets back out on the paddock much sooner rather than later. But he's out indefinitely, so that's some bad news too. Canberra Raiders will lose to the Melbourne Storm at GIO this Saturday night. I might be in attendance for that game as well, so I might do something then and there. Melbourne Storm 38 to 8 with Justin Olam as an anytime try scorer.
Perfect. Well, let's get into the last two games, and it's very hard to pick the game of the round because I feel like you can just say that Sunday is the game of the round. These two next games are absolutely mouthwatering, and the thing is, we hype these games up, and sometimes they let us down when we call them the game of the round. So I'm not going to pick one. I'm just going to go in open-minded and think we're going to see some good footy and hope for that to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if either of these games is a blowout or just boring era football, which we've seen in recent seasons when we call a game the game of the round. The first game sees the undefeated Penrith Panthers taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, Souths, they've got their big guns back. They've got Josh Mansour back as well on the wing. Latrell Mitchell returns from suspension. They are looking good. The only thing that they're missing is Cameron Murray. That, for me, is a big loss for Souths in my opinion, his ball playing ability, his fast pace through the middle, but they still look like a really, really solid team. As for the Panthers, Kurt Capewell is in and Spencer Lenu is in the reserves. Now, Spencer Lenu is on a 21 game win streak. So if
Oh,
he
that
comes into the
guy.
side, if he comes into the side, then there's no doubt that Penrith win this game. Now, before I had a look at the team lineups, I knew that Latrell Mitchell was back. I've had my first look here properly at the team lineups, and I'm still going to stick with the same prediction. I had the Panthers 13 plus yesterday. I had them winning this game by a lot of points, 18, something like that. However, I think it's a really quality side that they've lined up with. I think the Penrith Panthers will win this game, but I think South will compete and score a lot of points in this one. I'm taking Penrith to win 30 points to 18, and I'm taking my anytime try scorer at Stephen Crichton. One thing I want to add is it's at Bathurst, a neutral ground, and it is Indigenous round. So watch these Rabbitohs step up. If they're going to win a big game and put on, hey, yeah, we lost 50-0, but we've got our big guns back and we just beat Penrith, that's what I could see happening in this round. But I can't tip it. I'm going Penrith, 30 to 18.
House. I've got to, with all respect, I've got to pull you up on two things. It's taking place in Dubbo at
Dubbo.
Apex Oval. It's taking place at Apex Oval in Dubbo for the first time ever. So both these teams are playing in real neutral territory. So they'll have to get used to the surroundings. So it might be a slow start for the first 20 odd minutes. I don't know if the Rabbitohs are wearing their Indigenous jerseys this weekend. I think Indigenous round is actually next weekend. Well, that's when the Cowboys are wearing their. That's when Cowboys are wearing their Indigenous jerseys when they take on the Warriors next week. But it's not about next week. It's about this Sunday, and it's a huge Sunday. This really, it's probably the first time this year where we get to sort of see a quick little insight or glimpse of what's going to happen in September. I think the Rabbitohs are just not mentally strong enough yet. I think Penrith Panthers weren't merciless enough themselves. I think they could have won 60-0, but for some reason they weren't merciless enough last Sunday night, for me anyway, when they smashed the Gold Coast Titans. So I think you're right when you say that it might be safety first footy for this game. New surroundings, you're coming up against a heavyweight in each other, Rabbitohs and Panthers. And Latrell Mitchell, I mean, Tom Trbojevic came back and just blew everyone out of the park straight away. My question on Latrell Mitchell is, can he come into the side for the first time in 3 or 4 weeks and be a difference, make a difference? I'm not too sure. Josh Mansour is also back on the wing for South Sydney too. And yeah, Kurt Capewell is a massive in for Penrith Panthers. I'm going to go against you a little bit. I'm going to tip Penrith Panthers to win 1-12. And there's a fair chance that this game could go to Golden Point, I reckon. Golden Point extra time, I reckon, for sure. I can see this game. I'm going to go a weird one. I'm going to go Penrith to win 23 points to 18. 23 to 18. And my anytime try scorer, I think Viliami Kikau was denied a soft bunker decision when Liam Martin put out his forearm, stop a defender coming in to tackle him. I thought that was the wrong call as well, and it should have been a Viliami Kikau try. I think he'll get his try back this Sunday at Apex Oval, and he'll help Penrith Panthers win the game 23 to 18 against South Sydney. What are you showing me there, mate?
What about this one? James Fisher-Harris. He's scored back-to-back weeks. Can he cross over again? Doesn't score tries much, but Fisher-Harris has been on fire.
Well, he could, but he's also third in the Daly M bloody leaderboard as well. He's having a terrific season so far. And you think he's off contract at the end of this year or next year? I mean, there's always a home up in North Queensland for James Fisher-Harris, mate, for sure. For sure.
Well, let's get into the final game. My Parramatta Eels versus the Manly Sea Eagles on Sunday. I'll be there in attendance with my nan. I'm very excited for this one, and so is she, as you can hear there. She's been quiet for most of the video, but there we go. Now, I don't know if this game will be about defense or attack. That's what I'm trying to work out. Because originally I had the score at 16 points to 10, but now I've got the score being a little bit higher. And I think I'm going to lock in that little bit higher because I think they're both really good attacking teams that still need work on their defense. This is a game where we'll see whose defense is better, in my opinion. I'm going to put a big call out there that Manly, if they win this game, will be halved at their odds for the premiership. Manly, for mine, are the biggest smoky of 2021. However, can they completely stay fit as a group? That's what I want to see because we haven't seen that from recent seasons from Manly. We've seen Tom Trbojevic go down. We've seen, I think, Curtis Siren and Joel Thompson, a lot of outs for Manly. But as the Parramatta, their attack looks really good. Dylan Brown's still out, and Jacob Arthur had a really impressive debut, so I'm looking forward to him and Mitchell Moses, who was outstanding against the Warriors. Regan Campbell-Gillard, 2 tries, just one of the best games I've seen him play in a long time. He is a very confident young man. And Nathan Brown, who I just as a joke took first try scorer, coming on a new contract, won me $60. So shout out to Nathan Brown for that sneaky little dollar. He had a big game as well. As for the Seagulls, Kieran Foran is out. Ben Trbojevic is in jersey number 18, so we could see all 3 Trbojeviches on the field, which would be really funny. George Tafua, the big hard-hitting George Tafua in jersey number 21. He's a chance of playing, but Saab and Garrick are just in some great form. Jason Saab is fantastic to watch, and I'm going to tip the Eels here, guys. I'm not confident. I'm going to tip Parramatta to win by 4. I think it'll be a really, really close game. It could go to Golden Point, but I've never been to a Golden Point game, so I see this curse continuing for me. I'm going to take Isaiah Papali'i as an anytime try scorer. I think he's definitely due for a try. He was in some great form to start the year. He's still a fantastic player, but I think he'll cross the line over that Manly defense edge. And I think the Eels will win 26 points to 22.
Yeah, this is easily the hardest game of the round to surmise, to pick for sure. Manly Seagulls, whilst I'm excited for them and their fans that they're in really good touch, that first month of the season for Manly, I feel is going to just come back and just show its ugly head again sometime in the not too distant future. That bad form, the reason why it was there, it's there for a reason, and I think they're going to have a few more losses, obviously, undoubtedly, before their season's out. And I think they're going to lose this game to Parramatta Eels. I'm going to tip the Parramatta Eels to win. I think I agree with you in the sense that it'll be close, and I'm with you on the high scoring count. I think Marcus Sevo will be an anytime try scorer. And I think the final scoreline will be 22 to 20. 22 to 20, I reckon.
22 to 20. I like it.
22 to 20 to Parramatta Eels this Sunday. And again, this is just a little quick glimpse or an insight as to what we're going to see in September, because I got Parramatta Eels house in my grand final. I've got them in my grand final this year. Yeah, I reckon.
Who are they playing?
I reckon if they come up against Melbourne in the preliminary final or South Sydney Rabbitohs, I reckon they're going to say, not this year, boys. And I think they're going to take on Penrith Panthers in the grand final. I think we're going to see a Western Sydney Derby grand final this year, man.
Oh,
Mark
how
my
good would
words.
that be?
That's my big tip this year for sure.
I love it. All right, Sam, thank you so much for coming on the channel, guys. These have been our tips. We've gone against each other for the Dragons and the Sharks. Make sure you head on over to his channel, subscribe, and watch his tip. You're putting out a separate tipping video, I'm assuming?
No, this is the main event.
This will be the main event. All right, so next week, round 12, guys, you'll have to head on over. Oh, no, there. This is StreamYard's weird there. You have to head on over there, and you have to subscribe to Sam Revill. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, guys. We are so close to 3,000. If you haven't already, make sure you go and check out all the Magic Round vlog. As you saw today, I put out a video in regards to the best player for each NRL team so far as we come up to the halfway of the season. Go you Eels on Sunday. It is a massive test for us, and I will see you guys. When will I see you guys? Probably for the Eels and the Manly Seagulls vlog. Thank you.